Greetings, esteemed audience, and welcome to the Age of Steel and Fire. Today, we continue our epic journey through the great battles that forged the fate of civilizations. On October 7, 1571, beneath the deep blue waters of the Mediterranean, over 400 warships and 100,000 soldiers clashed in the greatest naval battle of the Renaissance. This was not merely a clash of fleets, it was a confrontation between civilizations, faiths, and worlds. The Battle of Lepanto marked a turning point where Christianity and Islam wrestled for control of the seas. A moment where strategy, belief, and the fate of a continent hung in the balance. In today's video, we'll uncover the battle that shaped the destiny of the Mediterranean, from its historical backdrop and military forces to tactics and lasting legacy. To begin, let's explore the historical context leading up to the battle. The 16th century was a time of seismic transformation across Europe and the Mediterranean. While the West entered the Renaissance with breakthroughs in science, art, and navigation, the East, led by the Ottoman Empire, expanded its reach at an unprecedented pace. After capturing Constantinople in 1453, the Ottomans seized control of vital trade routes between Europe and Asia, posing a direct threat to naval powers like Venice, Genoa, and Spain. Faced with the looming loss of Mediterranean dominance, Pope Pius V forged an extraordinary coalition, the Holy League, uniting Spain, Venice, Italian states, and papal forces. Their singular goal: to halt Ottoman expansion at sea. The Battle of Lepanto was no accidental clash. It was the culmination of decades of tension, strategic rivalry, and ideological confrontation between Christianity and Islam. A battle where both sides believed defeat meant total collapse. The Battle of Lepanto was more than a clash of fleets, it was a full-spectrum contest of strategy, technology, and resolve between two civilizations. On the side of the Holy League, the forces were led by Don Juan of Austria, a young prince with bold command. Under him sailed warships from Spain, Venice, Genoa, and the Papal States. Over 200 galleys, armed with cannons, seasoned marines, and infantry units ready for boarding combat. The Ottoman fleet, commanded by Admiral Ali Pasha, fielded over 250 galleys, a force that had dominated the Mediterranean for decades. Their sailors were skilled, their tactics refined, and their confidence unmatched. Numerically, the Ottomans held the advantage. But in terms of organization, firepower, and morale, the Holy League had the edge. Notably, the presence of Spanish infantry, trained in the tercio formation, proved decisive in close-quarters combat. This was not just a naval duel, it was a symphony of coordination between sea and land forces, between engineering and conviction, between classical tactics and emerging firepower. On the morning of October 7, 1571, the waters of Lepanto lay still, as if bracing for a storm. Two colossal fleets, over 400 warships, moved into striking distance. No opening salvo. No warning. Only war drums and eyes set on victory or death. The Holy League divided its forces into three wings: left, right, and center. Don Juan commanded the center aboard the flagship Rio. The Ottomans mirrored this formation, with Ali Pasha at the helm of the Sultana, bearing the sacred banner of Islam. The Venetian-led left wing clashed first with the Ottoman right. Winds and currents disrupted formations, creating deadly gaps. But Venice seized the moment, unleashing cannon fire that ignited the battle. At the center, Don Juan and Ali Pasha collided like two spears. The Rio and Sultana rammed head-on. Spanish infantry boarded, fighting fiercely. Ali Pasha was slain, and the Islamic banner fell, a devastating blow to Ottoman morale. The Holy League's right wing, initially overwhelmed, was reinforced by Genoese and Papal forces. After 3 hours of brutal combat, over 100 Ottoman ships were captured or sunk. The waters of Lepanto ran red with smoke and blood, but victory belonged to the Holy League. Lepanto was not merely a battle of oared ships, it marked the transformation of naval warfare from classical to modern. The Holy League employed a cruciform formation, allowing mutual support and flanking maneuvers. Spanish and Venetian galleys were equipped with heavy bow-mounted cannons, a major leap beyond traditional galley warfare reliant on archers and boarding troops. The Ottomans adhered to classical galley tactics: speed, agility, and rapid boarding. But their lack of long-range artillery left many ships vulnerable before they could engage. A decisive factor was the integration of naval and infantry tactics. Spanish troops, trained in the tercio formation, combining firepower and melee capability, dominated the decks during boarding actions. Lepanto proved that technology doesn't just change how battles are fought, it shapes who wins them. Artillery, formation discipline, and coalition coordination enabled the Holy League to overcome a numerically superior foe. The Battle of Lepanto ended in a resounding victory for the Holy League. Over 30,000 Ottoman troops were killed, and more than 100 ships were sunk or captured. The empire that once ruled the Mediterranean was forced to retreat, at least in spirit and symbolism. Strategically, the Ottomans rebuilt their navy swiftly. But psychologically, Lepanto shattered the myth of their invincibility. It was the first time a Christian coalition had defeated the Ottomans at sea, and that victory echoed across Europe. Culturally, Lepanto became a symbol in art and literature. Miguel de Cervantes, who fought and was wounded in the battle, called it the greatest event witnessed by mankind. Paintings, poems, and hymns celebrated the triumph as divine intervention. Militarily, Lepanto marked the end of the galley era. Artillery, formation discipline, and coalition tactics proved superior. Naval warfare entered a new age, where firepower and technology reigned. Lepanto was not just a victory, it was a reminder that faith, unity, and sound strategy can reshape the course of history. Lepanto is not just a glorious chapter in history, it's a reminder of the power of alliance, strategy, and belief. In today's world, where confrontations unfold not on galleys but through technology, economics, and geopolitical influence, the lessons of Lepanto remain strikingly relevant. The Holy League triumphed not because it was stronger, but because it was united, coordinated, and strategically focused. In a polarized world, that's a lesson every nation, organization, and individual should reflect upon. Lepanto also proves that when people believe in a cause, dare to face adversity, and know how to harness collective strength, history can be rewritten. What if Lepanto happened in the age of drones, missiles, and satellites? Which tactics would prevail? Let's explore, debate, and learn, because history isn't just the past, it's a mirror for the future. The Battle of Lepanto may be over, but its echoes still resonate through history, art, and strategic thought. If this video gave you a fresh perspective, drop a comment below. Which moment struck you most? What other battles should we explore next? Don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss the next episode from Age of Steel and Fire, where history is told through flame, steel, and insight. See you in the next battle, as we continue to uncover the moments that shaped the fate of the world.